Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me once again. I want to talk about something here that is pretty comical, but not surprising at all. It's not surprising because this is how he operates. I mean, Donald Trump is not your average president. He's just not your average president, man. He's going to say what he's going to say. He's going to say what he's going to say. And apparently, from this article I'm about to read to you guys, he had attended a Ford facility. He went on a Ford facility tour, and some heckler started calling him names, calling him, screaming and hollering and this, that, and the other towards him. And apparently, he mouthed the words "f you," and I think he stuck his middle finger up at him and mouthed the word "f you." Okay, pretty sure some of you probably have heard about it. When I read it, I laughed because I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Trump did do that. Okay, so let's get into this article here. It says, President Donald Trump flipped his middle finger to a heckler while touring a Ford facility in Dearborn, Michigan on Tuesday after, according to the White House, the lunatic was wildly screaming expletives at the president. A video of Trump during the exchange came out Wednesday evening, showing the president pausing and staring down the individual from a catwalk before pointing and mouthing what appeared to be "F you." And I think that's what it is, because if you see it, if you see the video, that is exactly how it looks, okay? It says here. Let's see if I can get you guys to listen in on some of this. Let's see.
A lunatic was wildly screaming expletives in a complete fit of rage, and the president gave an appropriate and unambiguous response.
Oh, that was about it. An appropriate and ambiguous response. Okay, that was about it. We're going to get into the appropriateness of this, or whether or not it was appropriate or not. But anyway, the president walked a few feet, pointed again, added another comment, and flipped the person off. According to reports, the heckler yelled, PEDO, you know what, protector, basically accusing him of protecting petties, right? The Washington Post reported that the heckler, a member of the United Auto Workers, was suspended for the outburst. Sabula, a 40-year-old United Auto Workers Local 600 line worker at the factory, told the Post that he was the one who shouted at Trump. He said he had been suspended from work pending an investigation, the Post Natalie Allison and Dan Morocco reported. Sabolo told the Post he had, quote, no regrets whatsoever. Okay. Is it that serious to you, bro? You get suspended? Is it that serious to you? All right, maybe so. In a statement, White House Communication Director Stephen Chong said that Trump's response was, quote, appropriate. A lunatic was wildly screaming terrible words in a fit of rage, and the president gave an appropriate and unambiguous response. Trump's overall reception during his visit to the Ford facility, which built F-150s, was very positive, with many employees cheering the president as he toured the facility with Ford Executive Chairman Bill Ford and President and CEO Jim Farley. Okay, so, yeah. So that's about it right there. That's about it. I'm going to read right there. So at any rate, yeah, so phone got unplugged it. So yeah, some people may have a problem with this, okay? And this is more lighthearted than I normally give, because sometimes we need a little lighthearted stuff here, But at any rate, somebody else may look at it and say, this isn't lighthearted, Mr. Bolin. I think this is really inappropriate of what he's doing. He's not acting presidential. And you know what? Let me say this. If I was the president, I wouldn't say it that way. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't stick my middle finger up to the person. Probably not. I wouldn't mouth the words "F you," which is what it appears that Trump said. You couldn't hear it, but he said. That's how he said it. I mean, so I'm pretty sure he said it, But I don't think I would have did it if I was the president. However, I know I would have thought it. I would have thought it. This piece of no good. I would have had to repent and ask God to forgive me for the way I've been thinking. So yeah. But let me say this. Some people may have a problem with Trump's response to this, okay? Because from the perspective of a lot of people, this shows someone who's out of control. In my opinion, I don't think he's out of control. Trump is the way Trump was before he became the president is the way he is as a president. Now, he kind of tempered off a little bit, but in comparison to his first term, he's more calmer now. He's not as rough around the edges as he once was. I mean, before he really called people names. Rosie O'Donnell called her a fat pig and all this kind of stuff, and at this point haven't taken it back. Yeah, he was into name calling. But here's the deal. However way people want to look at President Trump, and however way they want to judge him, I sincerely believe this. Trump is going to be who he's going to be within limits as a president, but he's going to be what he's going to be, and he's going to say, for the most part, what he's going to say that's on his mind. People might not like it. It may bother him. I mean, remember the situation with Israel and who was it? There was an issue with Israel and the other country, was it Iran? There was some kind of big issue that they were fighting over, or that terrorist group or whatever. But it was a big issue they were fighting over, and Trump was trying to fix it. Okay, he's trying to bring reconciliation and peace between the two. And after the supposed deal was made, what did they do? They went right back to fighting. So in an interview, Trump responded in an interview by saying, these people have been fighting so long, they don't know what the F they're doing, and walked off. Now, any other president wouldn't have said that. They would have been like, well, I'm really disappointed in this. I just really am really disappointed. I just said, Obama would have been like, well, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate they're doing this. I hope that things will get better. I hope it get better. Cackling Kamala Harris would have did exactly that. She would have cackled. well, they were arguing in the past, and they were arguing in the present, and they'll be arguing in the future. Because if they're arguing in the future, it's no longer the past. It's the future. That would be something that she would say, Trump is not like anyone else. He's just not like anyone else in terms of a president. He's not your average president. He's not always presidential. But what it does appear to be, with a lot of people, is that he's getting the job done. Now, some people may argue, well, he's not getting the job done in terms of the economy. But here's a problem with the economy, people. And I've said this before, regardless of what president gets in office, you cannot magically fix the economy. You can't. As a matter of fact, and I'm not going to get into the detail of it here, but no one's going to be able to fix the economy. That whole idea about fixing the economy to me is just a bunch of nonsense, because we'll never fix the economy as long as the Federal Reserve is still here. Okay. But anyway, that's never going to be fixed. We trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. We're never going to fix that. Okay. What most people want, whether they be liberals and conservatives, although I don't know what liberals want half the time. I don't know what they want. But I'll just say regular people. Regular people. What regular people want is more money in their pocket and the cost of living to go down. Now, from what I'm understanding, some of the products, the cost of living, some of the products are decreasing in price, and that's a good thing. Okay. Trump has been in office about a year now, right? Okay. We still got 3 years to go. So something in terms of the economy, that's going to take time. That is going to take time. It's going to take time for these terrorists to actually start kicking back, and for any of us to get any of that. We still have time. We still have some time, ways to go to see exactly how that's going to benefit all Americans in the long run in terms of keeping money in our pocket and the cost of living going down. We'll see about all of that. But a lot of the things that people voted for him for, he's doing. In terms of getting rid of these illegals, he's doing. Wasn't that his main campaign strategy? His main campaign strategy was getting rid of the illegals that came over here. That was his main campaign strategy. And he got the people's attention, and was able to be elected for that. It is what it is. He did a brilliant campaign, brilliant campaign strategy. So in that sense, he's doing his job, okay? The bottom line is this. Trump is not your average politician. Whether he's a part of the elite or any of this other stuff, no one knows for sure. That's speculation. I don't know if Trump is a part of a secret society or any of that. No one knows that for sure. I know Bush was. Bush was a member and is a member, was a member rather, of the secret society of Skull and Bones. That is not merely a cottage fraternity. That is a secret occult society. And he was a member of it. Okay? And so we can go into the detail, but I'm not going to do that here. I don't know whether or not Trump is a part of that or not. I don't know, because Skull and Bones is a secret society that's all about world domination. So it makes sense that Bush would be trying to consolidate power. But with Trump, I don't know. So I'm not going to say that. I don't know what someone said he may be in the secret society, but I haven't seen any real evidence to really support that assertion. So I can't say. He could be an outsider who happened to be able to get in, and maybe not. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the details of that in this video. Okay. What I will say at face value is that he is not your average president. You heckle Trump, he's going to heckle you back. You call him a name, he's going to call you a name back. See, what it is, a lot of people want to try to bully Trump. You can't bully the ultimate bullier. You can't heckle the ultimate heckler. You just can't do it. And I guess people assume that because he's the president, you can say any old kind of thing to him. I'm going to say whatever I want to say to him. I'm just going to say it, and he ain't nothing he can do about it. He ain't going to say nothing. Go ahead. Call him names. Make accusations. You're going to end up getting dogged out. Now, to start summing this up, this heckler in the Ford plant, in this plant, I find it interesting that he would accuse Trump of protecting pedos. Okay? You know what I'm talking about. Because according to the article, it says this guy was a liberal. He was from the left, obviously. And essentially, what's interesting about him is that he accuses Trump of protecting these petties. What's interesting about that, this guy, especially being from the left, is that all the way back in the 1950s, there was a professor. I cannot recall his name. Let me see it. I'm going to try to get his name. Alfred Kinsey. That's his name. Alfred Kinsey. All the way back in the 1950s, mid-1950s. You know what this liberal, leftist, communist promoted? And by the way, Alfred Kinsey was a professor. Once again, he was a professor in Harvard, a Harvard professor, Alfred Kinsey. Look this cat up. Who promoted, and I'm summarizing what he promoted. He promoted sex with children, right? As long as it was okay with him, he promoted it. You know, among other things. I'm not going to get into it here because this video will be taken off. His name was Alfred Kinsey, a liberal, far left, radical, as a professor in a elite university such as Harvard University, teaching this kind of stuff. And what's my point? What's my point, you saying? Well, my point is that this very heckler that's heckling Trump for protecting these kind of people, right? He's associated with in an indirect way. You was taught and raised in schools where you had professors, if this guy, this heckler, went to this school, went to any of these universities, who taught and pushed this kind of stuff. A teacher in school telling you that sex with underage youth is okay. Really? Do you know that? What did he know what that leads to? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He knew exactly where it leads to and led to. And this is one of the reasons why you have so much sexual sickness in our society and country today, because you have people like Alfred Kinsey teaching this type of stuff in the college campuses. So this heckler is heckling the wrong person. He's heckling the wrong person, as far as I'm concerned. What he really needs to do is be heckling some of these college professors, okay? But anyway, yeah. As I said, Trump is not your average president. He's going to say what's on his mind. He's going to do what he's going to do, okay? It is what it is. Quite honestly, I respect him for that. When just at surface level, I respect him for being who he is, that he doesn't change for anyone. So many of these people are they're cookie cutters. They're like robots, a lot of these politicians. And when they talk, even if they're well posed and are able to articulate their words very well, I always feel deep down inside that there's something fake and phony about it. But with Trump, I don't feel that. And I think a lot of people, particularly in the inner cities and in the hood, respect Trump. As a matter of fact, a lot of these young cats, I've seen so many different TikTok videos saying that Trump is a real NIG, is a real NIGGA. That's what they say. He a real NIGGA, bro. That's how they feel it. That's how people in the hood look at him. He gonna say what he gonna say and be real with it. A lot of the cats in the hood respect Trump. Isn't that the opposite of what a lot of these Democrats want? Whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's what I had to say about that. Hey, it is what it is. He's going to be who he's going to be. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.